Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your daily Reiki micro session. This is a micro session because it's only 5 minutes long. We are going to, well, I should say a regular Reiki session is an hour with me. So this is just enough to sort of give you a little tiny taste of Reiki or a little sample of Reiki to help you kind of figure out, okay, would I like to have more of this in my life or not? So we'll start with 5 minutes of Reiki, and then after that, we're going to move on to 5 minutes of questions. And for those questions, I will be using my tarot cards plus my psychic intuition to come up with those good answers for those questions for you. And of course, what I want to remember to say, I don't always remember to say it, is that super chats are always welcome if you appreciate the service being brought to you in this video, but they are never actually required. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the Reiki started. All right, so we're starting Reiki at 1 after the hour. That means that we're going to be finishing it up at 6 after the hour. Hello there, Ms. Anne, and hello there, Diane. Welcome, welcome. What is FINAP? What are you trying to tell me there, Ms. Anne? Oh, finally catching me live. Yeah, I'm on your schedule now. This has been a long day, but after this, I'm gonna hit the hay. Whew. Just thinking about it's making me yawn. Oh, goodness. Does anybody have any questions about Reiki while we're doing Reiki? This is the best time to ask. Mhm. 4 more minutes. We do have a lot of Reiki going out into that left side today, and especially from like I'm going to say even above the hip. I was going to say the hip to start with, but even above the hip and down. So, like from the bottom part of the torso on down. So, what is that going to be? That's going to have to do with the solar plexus. That's going to have to do with the sacral chakra. It's going to have to do with the base chakra. It'll have to do with the thighs. It'll have to do with the knees, the legs, the calves, the ankles, and the feetsies. So that means we've got a lot of stuff that is being impacted. So we're looking at base chakra having to do with security. We're looking at sacral, which has to do with how things feel to us. How do they taste to us? How do they smell to us? That type of thing. We're also having to do with the thighs, which supports how we feel about security. Like if we feel like we have to do such and such to have security, then the thighs are about those supporting things that we do, the supporting frameworks that allow us to do whatever that such and such might be. Knees have to do with flexibility and moving forward with being perfectly flexible, not too flexible and not unflexible. Calves have to do with movement forward as well. And then ankles have to do with flexibility and your purpose. By the way, guys, if you're benefiting from this video, please hit a thumbs up for me. Did I add to the bag? Yes, I did. Shruti. Hello, hello, welcome. Glad to see you today. I didn't add to it today. I added to it yesterday while I was working at For Heaven's Sake and doing readings in person down there. I added about 6 more items to it, actually, because I had picked out some things yesterday, and I had actually picked out some things the week before, and then I had forgotten to buy them before I left the store. So it ended up adding 6 things this week. Hello there, Alana. Well, Alana, have you had Reiki classes? Because it seems like if you've had Reiki classes, that would be important. Universal love. Hello, hello. Welcome. Glad to see you in the room. How are you today? I'm fantastic, my dear. I'm glad you're doing okay. Okay. All right. So here's why I asked that, Alana, because your question is one that would be taught in a basic level 1 class, at least if I was teaching it, or if my Reiki master who taught me was teaching it. And that made me wonder if you'd had any classes at all or not. Um, I'm kind of a snob. I didn't do any of my classes online. I am kind of prejudiced against them because I think if you do classes in person, then you've got somebody to practice on, and so you get a sense of how it feels not only to do Reiki on somebody else, but also how it feels to receive Reiki as well, and I think both of those are important. So, like when I offer online classes, I haven't really offered any classes where there didn't end up being more than one person like in the same room, even when I did them online. I would just have somebody sign into Skype and have the camera so that I could see everybody in the class. And that way they all get practice and I get to watch their technique and make sure that, they're not getting any funky ideas just because we're not in person. But I would definitely, if you're going to do online, I would do something where you definitely have interaction with the teacher in real time. And if you're going to go in person, then that is really good too. In fact, if you want to learn Reiki, I would be happy to teach you. The other thing about taking classes or reading books is that when you actually are trained in Reiki, you're not only being trained in what to do, why to do it, where to do it, as far as, like where do you put your hands, why do you put them here, all of that good stuff. You're also trained in that you are given what we call attunements during the class. And Reiki Level 1 has 4 attunements. Well, those attunements are imperative to you being able to do Reiki because what the attunements do is they remove blockages so that Reiki can flow more freely through your body to yourself, or if you have somebody that you can actually reach and touch at level 1, um, to whoever that person may be. It's when you get to Reiki level 2 that you learn to do long distance Reiki like I do for you guys. But in Reiki level 1, you want those attunements because those attunements really allow that energy to flow more freely than if you haven't had them. Makes you a much more effective administrator of Reiki, whether you're administering it to yourself or somebody else. Well, I like Yasui Reiki, but there's other branches of Reiki as well. Um, Yasui is my background, so I would look for a Yasui Reiki master, and that's U-S-I-U, I want to say. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't spell S-U-I-U. That's right. So I just had to picture it in my brain. Um, the thing that I like to look for in a Reiki master, you want to look for somebody who has been a Reiki master for a while, as in um, The one that I went to had been a Reiki master for like 30 years. I don't know if everybody's going to have 30 years experience, but I would say at least 10 years experience as a Reiki master so that you know that they're very comfortable with what they're doing. Um, and the other thing is you want to really kind of get to know their heart. Why are they teaching Reiki? Are they teaching Reiki because it's another source of income for them? Are they teaching Reiki because they're passionate about what people can do with it? You know, and I mean, obviously, if you teach Reiki, yes, you're going to have money coming in, but is that the reason you're teaching Reiki? To me, it's really important that if I'm going to learn something, I'm not learning something from somebody who's just doing it for the money because then they don't take as much care in what they're teaching me. They're not making sure that I've really got it, and they're not going into the details if I want details on something. So I think you want to make sure that it's somebody who is really passionate about the Reiki and what it can do for people once they know about it. Those are the things that I would look for, experience and passion. Yes, there's 2 that I know of. I don't even remember the name of the other. There's 2 that I know of, and there may be more. Okay, I think we've gone way over on the Reiki, actually. We did 10 minutes tonight. I'm sure it didn't hurt anybody. All right, so let's move on to questions. So this is the point where I answer questions with the tarot decks and my intuition. So whatever questions you guys have on your mind or on your heart, or if you have more Reiki questions, I'm open to answering those too, of course. Okay, so the timer is set. I've got 5 minutes to answer whatever I can answer. Oh, you're quite welcome. If you do decide that you want to learn from me, just let me know. I do teach Reiki classes, and I would highly encourage you to get a friend to learn with you if you would go through me. What does the universe want Diane to know today? Diane. Okay, so Diane, what you've got is things are happening really fast around you right now. You may be kind of struggling to just kind of keep up with everything that's going on and make sure that you're on top of everything you need to be on top of. It looks to me like you may have been neglecting taking care of yourself or setting priorities for yourself. So, this is a good time for you to start to do that. And it's interesting how this comes up, Diane, because for me, avoiding self care is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And look where it shows it's time for you to start taking action on self care is the Prince of Pentacles coming in right side up. That's normally not necessarily the message that I get from him, but I will tell you that I'm feeling like you've been neglecting your self care in a big way because everything has been so busy. And with the Queen being the one that's neglecting and the Prince being the one that is bringing in that self care, I feel like Spirit is kind of acknowledging there may not be time to do as much self care as we would really like to see you do, but there's time for you to start getting into some kind of self-care routine. And so even if you're taking baby steps, you want to start focusing on self-care as well as everything else that's going on. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you, Diane. Universe love. Okay. Universe love, you have a card that fell out. Do we need any more cards for her? Okay. All right. Oh dear. Okay. This is a fun one, universe. Not exactly, but so anyway, you got the Princess of Cups showing up in reverse, and this is telling me that I feel like recently, but this could be coming up in the future too. It's hard to pin down a time without actually putting a time frame on a question. But I think that this is probably recently that you have let somebody know how you feel about something, and how you feel about something um, is maybe a little frustrated or annoyed or more on the negative side, okay? Now, look at this. This is why you're feeling frustrated, and this talks to me about the person and how the person has been acting with you. You've got a Prince of Cups and a Prince of Wands, both in reverse. So first of all, this is someone younger than you, probably also a masculine energy, or this could be a very assertive female. That can happen with the tarot, but they're going to feel pretty, to me, they feel pretty masculine. Like I said, they're both younger than you. Now, the Prince of Wands, this guy is flighty and flaky, and you can't really make plans with him because he's not good at showing up for those plans. The best way to get him to do something is 20 minutes before you walk out the door. Hey, I'm going to go to such and such concert. Do you want to go with me? If you try to plan with him like 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 days ahead of time, it's not going to work because he's just not going to be able to make those kind of plans. He doesn't like to commit to something in case something better comes up, okay? Now, let's look at the other part of the personality that you're dealing with. No wonder you're frustrated or annoyed. You've got somebody who's being disrespectful to you. And I feel like you care greatly about this person. You're probably doing quite a bit to actually help them. And instead of actually appreciating that help, they're just treating it like it's nothing and being disrespectful to you. So of course you're annoyed. I'm hearing, of course you're infuriated. That's what Spirit is saying. So we've got some negative emotion going on here when somebody is disrespecting you and making it really hard for you to make any kind of plans, even to try to help them. I hope that makes sense for you, my dear. I feel like that last spread too, universal love, is basically just validating, because I think you may be wondering, am I being too hard on this person by telling them how I really feel about this situation? And this is Spirit saying, well, look here, like this is only reasonable to expect to be respected and to expect to be able to make plans with somebody and be able to count on them to come through on those plans. So this is basically saying quit doubting yourself or quit putting yourself down. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate all of you, all of your support. If you have not checked out my contest video, check out my contest video. I do have a contest running for all of May. And the person who wins, there will be one winner this time, and the winner will be pulled out of a drawing. I'm actually not caught up on putting names in the jar, but so far we've got quite a few. Bonnie Snow is probably a good third of these. So if you guys want to have a chance at winning here, I would participate in this contest quite a bit. And it's not that hard to do. So you guys just check out the video, find out all about the contest. So prizes are going to be your choice. Whoever wins will have their choice of prizes. First choice that you can choose, or option one, I guess I should say, is a 30-minute live reading with me. That's normally valued at $100. Or you can get a 1-hour live long distance Reiki session with me, normally valued at $112. Or you can get 28 Reiki candles infused and lit by me, which is also valued at $112. Or you can choose what I'm calling the goodie bag. This started out with 2 items. When I began the contest, we had 2 items in here. Now we have more than that, probably like 8. And I'll probably add to it again once or twice before the month is over. I'm not going to tell you everything in here because I know that at least one of you wants to be surprised. But if you want to know everything that's in here before you make your choice, if you don't want to be surprised and you happen to win the drawing, then I will tell you everything that's in here. And then if nobody picks the goodie bag for this month's contest, it'll carry over to next month's contest, and I'll tell you what we start the goodie bag with next month. But this month we started it with 1 geode and with a golden sheen obsidian. Very similar to this one, similar in size, similar in shape. So that's what we started with for the month, and of course we've been adding to that. So Those are gonna be prizes. So if you haven't checked out that contest video, just go to my homepage on YouTube, and it should be the very first video that pops up. Okay, so anyway, once again, thank you guys for being here and spending some of your precious time with me today. I do appreciate every single one of you. And thank you so much for all of your support. Not only being here and hanging out with me, but also the super chats whenever you guys can do those, and you do those. Also, the thumbs ups and the shares. And of course, thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings, private Reiki sessions, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys are the reason I get to do what I love to do for my living. Everyone have a fantastic evening. And if I don't see you here for a private between now and then I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.